Hi guys, follow me on Instagram to never ever miss any of my crazy updates. Hi guys and welcome to another vlog. I'm driving this. This is the regular Ford Endeavour, the BS6 model. But this is not the Sport which I reviewed earlier. So I thought why not do a review on the regular Endeavour as well. Now opening the hood of this car can be a bit of a challenge, which I kind of always face somehow. And there it opens. Hydraulic struts. You know what? The engine bay is massive, but the engine is kind of chintu here. There's insulation right there, and this car looks identical to the BS4 model as well. You know why? Because everything is the same other than the fact that the headlight cluster has been revised now. See the projector setup? Well, that's the only difference. From the side also, you can't really make out if this is the BS4 or the BS6 model. But well, you can if you see the front fender, because it says Endeavour right there. It doesn't say 2.2 or 3.2. Meanwhile, the wheels, well, they look nice, but massive 265/60 18-inch tires. Look at the suspension of the car. Well, yes, it is again massive. Yeah, the car is kind of aged now because yes, it has been on sale since quite a long time. Coming to the rear, again, everything looks the same. 4-wheel drive, titanium written right there. Let's open the boot of the car. There, power tailgate. Meanwhile, another USP of the Endeavour is the fact that obviously it's a 7-seater, not 7-row, Faisal. Press a button and you can put back the seat, but unfortunately it's not going to happen right now because the seat is a bit too ahead. Yeah, now it should. No, it's not going to happen because the rear seat has been reclined. So you get the rear seat with some recline as well. Here, press a button. There, the seat comes up. Come on. That one is stuck, but we just put this one up for the moment. Last row is decent, not really great. I wouldn't sit there for sure. 12-volt charging socket, boot carrying capacity is decent. Press this button, the boot closes as well. But you know what, the Endeavour is a very practical car because there's good amount of space on offer in the second row. So here you see there is actually good amount of space on offer, and you can recline the seat by pressing a button too. Door pockets are large enough. Massive panoramic roof, not really massive as such, but yeah, big enough. Press this button, here you can tumble it. I don't know why it's not tumbling. Yeah, there you go. If you want to get into the last row, which again isn't the best in terms of space. The good thing is the seat has a good recline angle. There's plenty of space on offer, and everything in this car is similar to what was there in the BS4 model. So nothing new has come as such. So you actually climb in, electric adjust for the driver's seat. Say hi, Nurain.
Hey, hi.
Hello. Okay, now on the interior front, there's nothing much to talk about other than the fact that you get a new gear lever. That's about it. There is no difference. The dashboard design is really nice. Quality levels are good too. Instrument cluster is a bit funky, like it or hate it. Well, honestly, it could have been a little simpler, yet more complicated. That doesn't even make sense. Auto dimming inside rear view mirror. Press this button to open the sun blind of the sunroof, and we're going to open the sunroof as well. Okay, there, sunroof also opened on its own. So yeah, the buttons could have been a little bit more easier. I think the Tata Harrier does it the best. Press this once again. Yeah, that's about it. How much it opens. Actually, it is like the Harrier only. I need to figure out the buttons properly. That is a decent size sunroof. Good amount of space to actually get out. Yeah, there are buttons actually. This button is to close the roof. This is to open the sun blind. Now this infotainment system is also pretty nice. Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, all that is there. Reverse parking camera also looks nice. Adaptive guidelines, but honestly, the real USP which I personally like about the Endeavour is this button, which is self-park. All the controls here, 4x4 low, and traction control button. This is the terrain response system. Plenty of space on offer here. So let's do one thing. Let's do self-park.
वो इसका बहुत सेक्सी है.
Alright, we're all set to go, which means turning off the air conditioning, getting into drive mode, getting into sport mode. Straight away we're in sport mode. Turning off the traction control. Left foot on the brake, right foot on the accelerator, revving the motor, hazard light off, and that is 12.5 seconds to reach from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour. So this is the Ford Endeavour 2-liter. It's a 2-liter diesel engine. It is not having twin turbos. It's got a single turbo, and the output is 170 horsepower. Meanwhile, the torque output is 420 Newton meters, which comes between 2000 to 2500 RPM, which is actually the meat of the torque band. Now because the meat of the torque band is between 2 to 2500 rpm, the mid-range is really very strong. The low end is okay fine. The only issue is that this 10-speed gearbox actually saps the torque in the low end of the rev range, and in the top end it struggles. I mean, it doesn't have a top end as such. And you see the overall power band is so narrow. That's the reason why it has a 10-speed gearbox, because it needs to go through so many gears to keep you going. And 12.5 seconds to 100 kilometers per hour is similar to the 2.2. 1 second slower than the 3.2, but still swift enough. I mean, you never feel that this car doesn't have ample grunt. But yes, the twin turbo with more than 200 horsepower would have been something which will obviously come in the next generation of the Ford Endeavour. This engine is very refined, extremely smooth. You can barely hear it, but once you push it past 3000 rpm, it gets a bit vocal and you can hear a lot more on the inside, but no diesel clatter as such. Obviously, Ford's fantastic active noise cancellation works brilliantly well on this car, wherein the system actually plays low frequency sounds in reverse to cancel out sounds, which is again a very good thing. Now you see, the car is very comfortable. You get a good view of what's around, and the suspension is on the softer side, and the soft suspension means that it just glides over the worst of roads. What Ford has done is tweak the suspension even further, made it more silent, and it's so refined you can barely hear the suspension operating. That's again fantastic. This car is acres better than the Toyota Fortuner in terms of ride quality, and in spite of the soft suspension it still has a great high speed stability, so you get the best of kind of both the worlds. But there is body roll, and the steering has been blunted to quite an extent now, due to which you really don't enjoy pushing this car around the corners. It's not very direct as such. It's light at low speeds, weighs up decently well at high speeds. You don't feel hairy, but yes, as you can see, the Endeavour gives you a commanding driving position of the road, of everything around you, and you feel the king of the road because you sit high up. You see everything around very nicely too. And this motor, it gives you the punch. When you're actually accelerating hard now, it shifts through the gears fast enough, and this gearbox is so good that it knows that when it needs to skip a gear. So when you're trying to cruise, it will skip a few gears and put you in a higher gear when it realizes that, and when you need a downshift, it will come from 8th gear to 2nd gear as well. So yeah, the gearbox doesn't hesitate one bit to give you the right cog whenever you need it. Meanwhile, we are right now in sport mode. What does the sport mode do? It gives it a little bit more oomph, nothing else. And you know what? You've got gear lever mounted buttons, so you can manually take control of gears as well. But unfortunately, there are no steering mounted paddles. That would have been a real nice touch. And there's no Triptronic function either. Now we're accelerating hard in 3rd gear. Yeah, it will not upshift unless and until you decide to do so. 4,500, actually 4,650 rpm is where it redlines at. However, that is because I am right now in manual mode. If I'm in regular drive mode now, it will upshift around 4,000 rpm. And you know what is the best thing about the Ford Endeavour? This engine is so smooth, it's so refined, plus the fact that in spite of the massive size of this car, it is so easy to drive as well. Now, it will not do an upshift, but it will obviously do a downshift, because right now we are slowing down. Braking performance is nice, but there's this nosedive under heavy braking. Not even heavy, moderate braking, you can feel the nosedive. Look at the turning radius. Yeah, it loves to wheel spin. You know why? Because it has got so much torque on offer. And we're going to apply brakes. Braking performance is nice, like I told you earlier. Good amount of grip from the tires. And here we go. Come on. Now I've put it back into auto mode. Yeah, it has a little bit of a bounciness as well. So the Endeavour is a very likable SUV. I know it has aged quite a bit because certain features are missing, like at this price point. Now I would expect ventilated seats for sure. I would also expect an electric parking brake and a lot more from this car. But you know what, it's nearing the end of its life cycle. A new version is going to, rather a new generation version of the Ford Endeavour will be launched as soon as next year with the twin turbo diesel engine. Do I miss the 3.2? Certainly I do. Will you miss the 3.2? Certainly you will. But this engine still does a great job of keeping a smile on your face. Fuel economy, well, right now it's returning between 6 to 7 kilometers per litre depending on my massively heavy right foot. But in the real world, you can expect somewhere between 8 to 9 kilometers per litre, which is quite respectable. And out on the highway, you can stretch that between 10 to 12 kilometers per litre as well. The shifts are quite effortless, and because the suspension is so good now, even on rumblers you can't feel much of it. So the Endeavour is available in 4 variants. The 3 variants are obviously for the regular version, and the 4th variant is for the Sport, which I already reviewed earlier. That's why this vlog is so small. In the end screen you can see the link to the Ford Endeavour Sport review. And the price range actually starts at 36.33 lakhs for the base variant, which happens to be the titanium 4x2. Then there's the titanium plus 4x2, and this is the titanium plus 4x4, which is priced at 41.68 lakhs, which happens to be 78,000 lesser than the sport version. I see no reason to buy the sport, because what, just for cosmetics you're paying 78,000 more. But if you're shelling out 41 lakh rupees, you really don't care about 78,000 rupees now, do you? And all the prices I mentioned are on road Mumbai. The Endeavour is a lot better than the Fortuner, but the Fortuner facelift and the Legender are coming to India, which means that Ford needs to up its game. As far as I see it, the Endeavour is still the pick of its class. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, let's get another opinion on the car, shall we?
But you know, like, I like sedans more. You know, since you've spoken so much about M5, I'm so curious. I guess it could be my favorite. Seriously.
You can feel the continuous movement which is happening, because it has this lumpiness. It's a body on frame platform.
I don't like that.
Move hota rehta hai.
Yeah.
Because body is separate, platform is separate.
Just like TUV and just like Thar.
Oh!
What? Oh?
Kya baat hai?
Yeah, it doesn't feel heavy actually. Jitna you're saying according to the weight, like
size में कितनी मतलब बड़ी है लगती है?
हाँ, size में बड़ी है, but then still after driving the GLS तो
सभी छोटू लगता है.
Yeah, after driving GLS सब कुछ ऐसे छोटू ही लगता है. Yeah, but then pickup comparatively कम है. हाँ, because even when you were driving तब ना I felt like इसका pickup better हो सकता है. And इसका 3.2 था ना पहले.
हाँ.
फिर इन लोगों ने इतना कम क्यों किया?
उन लोगों से पूछो, मुझे क्या पता.